Hi everyone! Welcome back to our channel. We have lots of fun reading stories where we learn and improve your English skills fast. Let's learn, practice, and grow together. Think smart. Speak fluent. Once upon a time in the small town of Maplewood, there lived a boy named Leo. Leo was a bright student, but he had one big problem. He was afraid to speak English. He understood English well and could write perfectly, but whenever he tried to speak, he got nervous. His classmates laughed at his mistakes, and this made him even more afraid. Maybe I will never speak English fluently, he thought sadly. One day, a new teacher, Miss Clara, came to Leo's school. She had traveled to many countries and spoke many languages. On her first day, she told the students, "To speak a language fluently, you must think smart and practice with confidence." Leo was curious. Think smart? What does that mean? He wondered. After class, he went to Miss Clara and asked, "Miss, I want to speak fluent English, but I always make mistakes." Miss Clara smiled and said, "Leo, making mistakes is part of learning. Do you know how babies learn to talk?" Leo thought for a moment and replied, "They listen to their parents and repeat words." "Exactly," said Miss Clara. "They don't worry about mistakes. They listen, repeat, and practice every day. That's how you should learn English too." Leo decided to follow Miss Clara's advice. He started listening to English songs, watching English cartoons, and reading simple books. He also practiced speaking with his reflection in the mirror. At first, he still made mistakes, but he didn't stop. He learned to think smart. When he didn't know a word, he found another way to say it. Instead of saying, "I am very hungry," he could say, "I need food." One day, his school organized a storytelling competition. Leo wanted to join, but he was still nervous. Miss Clara encouraged him. Speak slowly, think before you talk, and most importantly, believe in yourself. On the day of the competition, Leo stood in front of the audience. His heart was beating fast, but he took a deep breath and began his story. He spoke slowly and clearly. He made a few mistakes, but he didn't stop. When he finished, the whole hall clapped. Leo smiled brightly. He had done it. He didn't win the first prize, but he won something even bigger: confidence. From that day on, Leo kept practicing. He spoke with his friends, teachers, and even tourists in his town. With time, he became fluent in English. 1 year later, Leo stood on the stage again, but this time he won first prize in a speech contest. His journey had taught him an important lesson. Think smart, practice daily, and never be afraid to make mistakes. The secret to fluency. In the same town of Maplewood, there was a girl named Emma. She was Leo's best friend, and she also wanted to speak English fluently. However, unlike Leo, she had a different problem. She was too shy to speak in front of others. Even though Emma knew many English words and understood grammar, she always hesitated when speaking. Whenever she tried, she would stop mid-sentence, afraid that people would laugh at her. One day, Leo noticed Emma's struggle and decided to help her. "Emma, I was like you once," he said. "I was afraid of making mistakes, but I learned a secret that helped me." Emma's eyes widened. "What secret?" she asked. Leo smiled. "The secret is, don't be perfect. Just speak." Emma frowned. "But what if I say something wrong?" Leo laughed. "That's okay. Remember when we were little and learning to ride a bicycle? You fell many times, but you never gave up. Speaking English is the same. The more you try, the better you become." Emma thought about it. She remembered how she fell off her bike but kept trying until she finally learned to ride smoothly. Maybe speaking English was like that too. Leo gave her a challenge. "Let's make a rule. Every day we will speak only in English for 10 minutes. No matter what, we won't switch to our own language. Deal?" Emma hesitated but finally nodded. "Deal." The next day, Emma and Leo sat in the park and started their challenge. At first, Emma struggled. She stopped after every few words, trying to think of the perfect sentence. "Just keep going," Leo encouraged. "It doesn't have to be perfect." Slowly, Emma started to relax. She made mistakes, but she kept talking. Day by day, her confidence grew. One evening, a tourist asked her for directions in English. Emma felt nervous, but she remembered Leo's advice. "Don't be perfect, just speak." She took a deep breath and answered. She made a small mistake, but the tourist understood her and smiled. From that moment, Emma realized that fluency wasn't about being perfect. It was about trying, practicing, and never giving up. A few months later, Emma stood in front of her class giving a presentation.